Hi everyone, I'm glad you're here. Thank you very much for joining me. It is Thursday, May 15th, 2025. The web camera there at Old Faithful has been down since Sunday. They were supposed to put in a new router. I don't believe in coincidence, and this is the last image that they are showing for Old Faithful. You can see it's, poof, 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 poof. The web camera was kind of sticky, stopping and freezing on Saturday, and then late Saturday night sometime it went down. Yeah, here it is, Thursday, almost a week later, and it still isn't working. All the money that they have, and they can't keep the monitors for Yellowstone working. And there's been quite a few earthquakes ever since we had the X flares off of the sun. Here's the location of the web camera. It's not even taking individual, what they call static images, where I could put together a time lapse. Yeah, it's not even doing that since Sunday. Very convenient. This way they don't have to report all the earthquakes too. The largest that they are reporting was by Challis, Idaho. Was a magnitude 3.0. Let me bring this down. And that was today at 3:45 Universal Time, which would have been 10:45 p.m. Central Daylight Time. Seven people said they felt this earthquake. USGS gave it an intensity level of 4, which means it would have been felt indoors by many, outdoors by a few. At night, they would have been woken up. Dishes, windows, doors were rattling. Automobiles rocked noticeably. It would have felt like maybe a 3 to a 3.5 that sent in the reports. Here's a map of the reports by the epicenter, Challis. Intensity level 4, 3 reports from there. Intensity level 2 to the east, 4 reports. I'll go back to that earthquake in a minute. I have the most recent earthquake that occurred, and I got 3 different monitors. This is Moose Creek, Idaho. This here is Denny Creek, and then the far right is Madison River. The strongest indication looks like it came from Moose Creek, Idaho. I come up with a magnitude, let me bring this down, 2.06. There's the spectrogram, and then the seismic signature. This is all fault movement. Sharpened points are fault movement. It occurred at 13:41 Universal Time, or at 8:41 a.m. Here you can see Denny Creek, pretty darn close, 2.05. Not being reported. And there's the seismic signature. Alright, here's the 3.0 that occurred at Challis, Idaho. Once again, Moose Creek, Idaho on the far left, Denny Creek in the center, and Madison River on the right. Let me go back to right there. Barely shows up. We'll go to the spectrogram. Here's the signature at Moose Creek, Idaho. I actually get a magnitude 3.10. And I'll bring it over so you can see it. It's got a long went off the line. Long P wave. Here's an example of a P wave and an S wave. The P wave is the first signature of the earthquake as it goes directly through the earth. Then the S wave, you can just think of surface as it goes across the surface of the earth. So there's the P wave, and there's the S wave. And we'll go to the spectrogram. The S wave, and then the initial P wave. Stronger than what they're reporting. Like I said, I get a magnitude 3.10, but they're saying it's a 3.0. And let me go back. Another earthquake, but for some reason it only shows up here at Moose Creek, Idaho. Actually, there's a little blimp on another monitor at 7:19 Universal Time. That was actually at Kelly, Wyoming. They're saying it's a magnitude 2.4. But I come up with a magnitude 2.64. This is magma movement. Yeah, see how it's rounded? This is magma on the move. Here's the signature as it came in at Denny Creek. Yeah, let's look at the signature. You can see there was magma movement prior to the popping of the earthquake. Again, Moose Creek, Idaho. And then more recently, there's another earthquake that they're not reporting. This is Moose Creek, Idaho. And there's it was fairly deep. The spectrogram. And I'll show you the other monitors. Denny Creek in the center and Madison River on the far right. This one they're also not reporting. And yeah, it's fairly recent, right down over here. I come up with a magnitude 1.97 at least, and I cut it short. And it looks to be mostly fault movement. You know, as the magma comes up, magma is very buoyant. It's called magma when the lava is still under the ground. Presses up on the crust of the earth. Yeah, it creates dikes where the gases and the magma can rise up, opening up those dikes, opening up the cracks, so more gases and more magma can move up closer. And this one was fairly deep. And then you have earthquakes. Now what's interesting at the monitor for the Madison River, again 1.97, you'll notice that the heat that came up is a lot shallower than what it is there in Moose Creek, Idaho. Now the Madison River area, when it had its last major eruption, there's been 40 smaller eruptions at least since its last major eruption. The Madison River area is where it started what they call the unzipping, multiple eruptions for the collapse of the two resurgent domes. It started in the Madison River area, worked its way down towards Heart Lake, and then both resurgent domes collapsed. It did a counterclockwise rotation of eruptions. So it's interesting here at Madison River that it looks shallower, let me show you again, than what it is here at Moose Creek, Idaho. Now that's probably got to do with the direction as the magma comes up from the plume and it travels across towards the to the Snake River Plateau, and got a lot of the different more recent volcanic eruptions like craters of the moon 2,000 years ago. That legend is passed on by Native Americans that actually witnessed it. So anyways, we'll go back up over here. The magma comes up over here at Yellowstone Lake, somewhere over here, and it goes up a little bit to the Madison River area, which is over here, and then it travels under the ground, kind of like, well, think about how the plates are moving. Yeah, so that makes sense. Yeah, 40 smaller eruptions since the last major eruption. One of the biggest eruptions was Pitchstone Plateau. Now that was about 70,000 years ago. That lava there that came up is about a mile deep. Again, 70,000 years ago. Yeah, you might hear rumbling. We got a storm ongoing. Lots of rain. Anyways, and it's supposed to cover an area the same size as Washington, D.C., and that was 70,000 years ago. So again, here's the three monitors. You have the strongest signature is probably Moose Creek, Idaho, or the Madison River. The one in the center is Denny Creek. Let's take a look at that. That looks like to be a mix of fault movement and magma movement, and I'll make it larger. Yeah, see how it's rounded? Yeah, there's lots of quakes they're not reporting. Interesting, we got, yeah, magma movement here, fault movement. Yeah, look at that. Pop, 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 pop. Yeah, lots of, and this here is Denny Creek. Yeah, it was ongoing. Think of a water hose as the magma is trying to come up, and you kink it off. And as the magma melts the rock and rises up, Yeah, look how shallow that is. That is definitely a wow moment. As you release the water, as the magma melts the rock, it gets closer and closer to the surface. More thunder boomers. I probably shouldn't be on my computer, but yeah. Anyways, yeah, you can see all the earthquakes, lots of quakes. We got more. Let me pull this up. More fault movement, more popping it looks like. I'll make that bigger. Sometimes when I change the screen to a different location, yeah, pop, 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 pop. Yeah, this is Denny Creek. And that's up by the Madison River area. And, well, we'll extract that and make it larger. Yeah, fault movement and magma. Yeah, pushing up. So that's all I have for you right now. Yep, camera's not working. They're not reporting all the earthquakes. How convenient, right? I don't believe in coincidence. What are your thoughts? Put your comments down below. Thank you very much for watching. As always, please thumbs up my videos. Please subscribe. And I'll talk to you later. God bless you. Bye.